She fell, she fought, and in the end, she emerged victorious. This is the woman of today, and she is made of steel. Come and watch how she slays.
On She Slays today, I have someone who's been very, very close to my heart, not just for the person she is, well, that is definitely a very big deal, but also the kind of work she has been tackling and handling for over 2.5, 3 decades now. She plays multiple roles, whether it is the use of her talents that she does in various places, or for that matter, the professional titles she has earned over these years: an entrepreneur, a mother, a wife, a daughter in law, and a lawyer. She's also a fitness guru. I mean, the list just goes on and on. I'm talking about Nawaz Singhania on the show with me today on She Slays. Nawaz, so good to have you on the show. A warm welcome.
Thank you for having me, Annie.
Okay, Nawaz, let's begin with going back to maybe college. What were some of the things you were, going after?
Well, in college, I was going after the things that all young girls in college go after. And during the end of college, by the time I was in my TYBA, I think, like many other people, I was struggling with what's going to happen next and where is my life going to take me. And I had multiple interests, so I was at multiple crossroads. Yeah, and law was one of them, one of the very evident ones, for the simple reason that everyone in my family is a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
And it was expected of me to kind of, study the law, become a lawyer, etc. And I did that.
Mhm.
I am a law graduate, but I had so many other dreams. I wanted to get into fitness, very much so as I am now, and that's what I went with, of course. For a multitude of reasons, I wanted to actually be a journal, actually be a writer. I got to realize that dream through the fitness avenue. I wanted to be an artist, which also I kind of do as a hobby more now, but I've had many solo shows too over the years. And I wanted to get into psychiatry and the mental space for many reasons, for many very obvious reasons, as you see around.
Sure.
And now I have to say it is such a hobby because I've had so many nut jobs at close quarters for one reason or the other that I have been very happily studying that and understanding and learning a whole lot more and educating myself. And I'm just very pleased with the way all things have turned out to be. And then there are other things, of course, which I do, but these were my main, dreams.
Listen, I know of people packing 25 and 24. You seem to be packing 30 in 24. I don't even know how you managed to do that. But we will touch upon a few, especially when you said that you are a lawyer. You kind of walk in and out of your father's law firm. He is one of the most sought after lawyers of this city and the country we know of. And you, of course, are on the board of your husband's business, whether it is the schools you run or it is the mainstream business that you have. And then, of course, you have Body Art Fitness Studio, which you started, I think, quite a few years ago. And in the game of fitness that you've been for over 27 years now. Yeah, Taste. You are beautiful. I may not have visited any one of your exhibitions, but I have seen your work. And I think it's astounding. Oh my God. I cannot get, some of the faces you drew out of my head. Whether it is the lead singer of The Doors, whether it's, so many of them. So many of them. You're beautiful when it comes to that. So artistry is something that you find the time for. Tell me something, the solo exhibitions you mentioned. What were these solo exhibitions about? And what have you explored in the art area?
So in that space, I really started with body art because that's pretty much me. So the theme of my artwork also was body art. I specialized in, I dabbled with many things very happily so, and I think I kind of specialized in art in motion, in, speed, whether it, and that was a very difficult medium as well, because I worked with canvases and I worked with oils To get that effect in watercolors is easy, it flows. To get that in oils and acrylics is not easy. So I was pioneered that, and I'm very happy with that. Whether it is a cheetah running across a plain, or whether it is a butterfly or a hummingbird flying and flapping its wings in that kind of motion, or whether it's a dancer in motion, or what horses. I did a lot of horses, whatever it might be. I did that. I did have, and I still have, a collection with the jeweler Poonam Soni, where I do these, like what she calls minis. So they're tiny canvases of art in motion, which is even more difficult to do on a small scale, because for that you need scale. It has to fly out of the canvas.
Absolutely.
To really get that impression on a small canvas is hard. But I've done a lot of those. And then she designs and makes beautiful, very unique jewelry around it. So that's a lot of what I've done. I've had quite a few solos in Bombay, out of Bombay as well. And I've done a lot of charcoals. That's another fabulous one that I kind of really, take to. And in the lockdown, I have done a lot of work. I have done a lot of work in the lockdown, put it to very good use. And for instance, I've decorated my whole meditation room with a series of some 15, 16 canvases, because my interior designer never completed my meditation room to that point of decorating all my walls. And he gave me a beautiful canvas to work on, because, the walls are inset and slightly different colors with, downlighters, etc. So they were really begging for works to be there. And none were given. And I said, to hell with that. I'm going to do it myself. So, that's on the art side of it.
So cool. I guess another solo exhibition is kind of on its way with the amount of work you've done in the past year. Speaking of, how you dabble in different areas, and one is extremely different from the other and unique in its own way, whether it is art, whether it is writing. I mean, you wanted to be a journalist, you also write. And I guess you put all of this together to one other unique passion you have, and that is fitness. You've been a fitness guru. You've pioneered so many different styles of, exercises and gymming techniques that you actually brought to India for the first time. And this has been happening for over 27 years. And I know I have spoken to you for over 2 to 3 years on my show alone. I mean, we've done, dedicated segments talking about various aspects of fitness and mindfulness and so on and so forth. So that's one area I want to talk about, and how you really plan your life, because all of this cannot be packed in a day. So how do you plan your day? How do you plan your week, your month, your years? Yeah, that's quite a lot. Now, writing is one thing. Quickly, I want to learn from you as to what is it that you love to write?
So I write on a variety of health, fitness, wellness related matters. I've just finished writing my book on anti-aging as well.
Ooh.
And but don't feel it right to release it in the middle of lockdown, of course, although it's really needed more now than ever before when we don't have outside help at all.
Sure.
Everything that you mentioned earlier so kindly is all from the same side of the brain, right? It's all creative and it is all intuitive. And when you ask me that, how do you have time to do all of this? I have two things to say. Firstly, I have a fabulous team. I have fabulous people in my support. And you can't take away from them, because you cannot, you're a single human being, you're limited, and you rely on others.
Sure.
And they keep me up, they keep me afloat, and they do what's required to be done. So I have to, really commend them on that one. And secondly, an important thing is a very toxic person who I consider a friend once upon a time, told me, he actually told me that I've been watching you for a long time, and how come it is that you just never fall unwell?
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, you would
That is some
actually envy
observation.
that. that is some observation, and that is some wish, and that is some weird kind of envy. And not that I take for good health for granted, but I do everything in that endeavor. And yes, it is true that I don't get unwell, and it is something not to be taken for granted. You touch wood and you thank the gods that be. My father always said that good health is your birthright, and I work towards it. It is your birthright. But it came from a person who was very toxic. It came from a person who's perpetually unwell, perpetually out of it, depressed, negative, sick, etc., etc. And I said, "Oh my God, you cannot value the light till you have darkness. You don't make the comparison." So that also helps. That I'm very high energy. I don't get tired. I don't get tired. So that's because of everything I've put into and plowed into myself on a continuous basis. I kind of lead from the front. So one manages to get a lot done then.
You know what? It's absolutely brilliant you said this. Even if it has come from a person you consider toxic, but the observation is not to be taken lightly, because honestly, I was just thinking about the number of times I have taken ill. Okay, in a year, if I have taken ill, say 2 to 3 times, which has happened with me. And every time I take ill, it takes away a good 1 week to recover from it. Okay. And there are times, like, for instance, the COVID incident that happened in my life, I took about a month to recover. So in 365 days, if I am giving, say, 3 weeks to, say, anywhere close to 1.5 months to only illnesses, then that is so much of the productive time gone, and it is not a good thing. So if you have cracked that, and if you have lent your mind to be at ease and know how to tackle things and know when to say no and when to say yes, that's something that I really adore about you, which is not a cup of cake for anybody else. By the way, that includes me. This is a great feat one can achieve over and above the things that you manage to do with the little time that almost all of us have. We all have the same amount of time, but depends on how each one approaches life, what the ideology is, and how you try to put everything to use.
Yeah, thank you. But I thank you for saying that, because that was also brilliant to somebody like me to hear you, because I did not take for granted that you lose any time to illness at all. I just took my reality as being the only reality. So thank you for putting the spot onto that. And in that endeavor, I want to tell you a funny little thing that happened when I was pregnant with my first daughter. People are superstitious, right? They don't want to talk about it for the first 3 months till it's really a sure thing. Yeah. So I was not talking about it, particularly because I had a few heart attacks. I had bleeds and things of that sort, and therefore it was not a sure thing. So you don't want to talk about it. And I was put on a lot of bed rest as a result. By my doctors to just be very still and don't do anything and whatever. So I could not get into work the way I wanted to. So I decided that, okay, I'm just going to say I have a back problem for a little bit, and therefore, excuse myself from work for a little bit. And the people I said it to started laughing and saying, "You have a back problem. No one is going to buy that." And that's true. And that's such a fabulous compliment and such a great thing.
Wow, that's super amazing. And there are so many things that you have managed to, achieve in this life. But I think always holding on to what is called optimism and staying positive through it all. Are you ready for this quick fire round?
Yeah, as ready as I can be.
I have very simple questions for you, and you sent me, you have to give me the correct answer. Your correct answer, of course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing you do manage to find time for things you like to do, which you always have been. But if I have to ask you, the recent movie you've watched on an OTT platform, because everything is digital these days, what would it be?
I haven't watched any movies, but I've watched some fabulous documentaries delving into matters of the mind.
Ooh, which one is it?
Even of days gone by. Even if you study the British ancestry and royalty, and you study what really happened with Henry VIII or Henry VII, and how sick those minds were, and how what actually power did, and what it did to the lives of all else, and how things actually turned. Did you know that man had, okay, this is a quick fire round. I won't get into all of that. Okay.
See, Nawaz is really, pot full of lots of stories. And that is why it does call for another set of She Slays conversation, maybe, and other things that she loves doing, which we will touch upon later. Okay, moving on to the second question. Two of your favorite international pop stars of today.
I don't really appreciate the music of today as much as I did of yesteryears. And it still has to be the old is gold. It still has to be the Madonnas and the Michael Jacksons and the Beatles and,
Jim Morrison's
Billy
of the world.
Joel and not that much, but well, painted him, yeah. But Billy Joel and some of those still. I'm still very, very strong on, lyrics and things that make sense.
Yeah. Singer-songwriters that I think singer-songwriters who were subtle activists in their own way. And that's what I think artists of yesteryears really did. They did change the mindset of people, and they really did influence for the better. That's so cool. Okay, moving on. What's your favorite book?
My favorite book of all time has to be The Difficulty of Being Good by Gurcharan Das. It is fabulous. If you haven't read it, please do. It's unreal.
Okay. Top two travel destinations on your bucket list right now, because things have changed in the past year and a half.
Any place that's super safe. Which was more recently for me, Russia.
Okay. Moving on to, who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Peter O'Toole.
That is so sweet and that's so innocent. So cool. Okay, what's your favorite word? Is there a word that you use very often? It's like a default setting of your vocabulary.
I'm sorry, I'm going to let you down on that one.
That's pretty cool then. Okay, if you were to be a comic superhero for one day, who would it be and why?
I can only think of Govinda.
How does he qualify to be a superhero? No, I can't take that.
He's a superhero in the masses that he enjoys herodom of. But I can't think of anyone else right now.
Okay, then. Which dessert makes you go weak in your knees?
Chocolate anything.
Yeah? Ooh.
Especially
are you particular?
Chocolate. Especially chocolate and orange anything.
Oh, my. Are you very particular? I mean, considering you're also a fitness enthusiast, are you very particular about the places you source your chocolate from? That it has to be in cocoa butter and it can't be anything less than that?
No, my requirement is no butter at all, no margarine at all. The chocolate cannot have any white sugar. It has to have only stevia or coconut sugar. And whatever my desserts are made out of, no white flour. Maybe almond flour, maybe quinoa flour, and that goes for me tonight. I'm hosting tonight. That goes for me tomorrow night. I'm hosting tomorrow night. That's it. And if you're in my orbit, that's all you get to eat, whether you like it or not.
So cool. Okay, what's the one thing that your parents taught you that changed your life?
My father taught me positivity, which is the biggest gift any human being can give any human being, I think, because life is about either looking at the light or looking at the darkness, essentially. And everything else kind of starts from there and it ends, there as well. And no matter what, I've always been extremely positive because of him. And in the same reel, he's also always taught me to be even-keeled. When something fantastic happens in your life, don't be over the moon.
Yeah.
And when something really negative happens in your life, don't be down in the dumps. Even keel. Very, very important.
Wow. I'm going to keep that in mind. Yeah, even keel. I like that. Okay.
Because what goes up will come down and the other way around too, right? So, yeah.
Sure. Wow. A very strong lesson to really hold on to for life. What's your favorite time of the day?
Night.
Ooh. What's your favorite beverage?
Coffee, cappuccino.
Oh, and the last question. What's the one thing you're excited that's coming up in 2021? Or maybe early 2022, because we're really nearing 2021 end.
Yeah, the A&R project I'm doing internationally with our Bollywood singer Sean. It's a whole repertoire of English and many other things mixed into it, and that's very exciting to me right now.
Super
On the verge of release.
cool. Oh my
Yeah.
God, lots that's happening. Thank you so much for your time, Nawaz. This was amazing. And keep
Thank
slaying
you.
it.
Thank you so much. Very kind of you. And you too. You're quite one for yourself as well. Yeah.
Thank you so much again. Nawaz Modi Singhania has been slaying it. It's an exclusive on Afternoons with Annie. The segment is called She Slays.